When you open InDesign for the first time, it can feel overwhelming, but once you understand where everything is and what it does, it becomes much more easier to use. Today we are going to be looking at the interface, document setup, what InDesign is, and what it does. So what you see right now is the home screen or the welcome screen. I guess you can see this text, welcome to InDesign Narog. Think of it as your control center. It's where you can start a new project by clicking on New File, open a recent project by clicking on Open. There are also other options on the home screen. Learn. When you click on this, there are tutorials for InDesign. So let's get to the interface by clicking on the InDesign icon. But before we go through the interface, it's good for us to understand what InDesign is or what this program is used for. InDesign is simply a layout and publishing program. It's built for assembling text, images, graphics into professional designs, just like other design programs or editing programs. Photoshop edits photos. Illustrator is known for creating vector artwork. InDesign brings all those elements into one organized space to produce the final piece. So let's get to understand what the interface is. So on the left hand side, this is what we call the tool panel. These are tools you will need to create and edit your design. The most important ones for beginners are basically 3. There are lots of tools we're going to be using, but for now, let's first go through these 3 tools. We have the type tool, used to create and edit text. This is the type tool with a short form or abbreviation of T. We have the selection tool, which is this one, and the frame tool, which is this rectangle frame tool. But there is a trick I would like to use for us to remember these tools. I would like to call it pick, place, and perfect. Like I said, InDesign has 3 major parts: the tools, the canvas, and the panels. But how do we remember these very quickly? We are going to be using a term or something simple like pick, place, and perfect. You pick a tool from the toolbar, you place it on the canvas, and use the different options on the panel section to perfect your project. Should I repeat that again? I would like to use the pick, place, and perfect phrase. Pick in regards for the tools. This is your tool panel on the left, where you pick the tool you need. You place it on the canvas, where you're actually going to be placing text and images. Then you perfect it using these control panels on the right hand side. In summation, there are 3 major parts inside the workspace. That is the tools, canvas, and the panels. But what else do we see in the workspace apart from the above 3? There is this section which we call the menu bar. These are the main controls for any program. Menu bar. Below it is what we call the options bar. whatever tool you choose, a set of other options is going to show up in the options bar. This is the selection tool. So when I click on the text tool, it is going to bring more options in regards to the text. For example, the font, the size, leading, kerning, the alignments, and other features. At the bottom is what we call the status bar. This is the status bar. So the status bar provides important information and quick access tools to help you monitor and control your documents. It consists of the page navigation. So it's called the page navigation. Right now we have one page. If we had lots of other pages, like 50 pages, we would have more options on here. But as for now, we only have one page. So this will show the spread you are currently on. So it also has the view option. It has the view option. This displays the current zoom level. This is the view option. It shows us the current zoom level. Right now we are at 81. So if I try to zoom out, I guess you can see that it's reducing 50, 25. So when I zoom in, let's leave it at 75. There is what we call the preflight panel access. This is the preflight panel. It shows the preflight indicators, which tells you if there are problems or errors in your documents, like the missing fonts, images, overset text. So I guess you can see right now we don't have any error. The green icon, it means there is no error, but if it was red, we had to check the errors that we might be having. Let's get to the next step, which is document setup. And let's start by creating a new document. Think of this as setting the foundation for everything you will need to build. If the setup is right, the rest of the process becomes much more easier. So how do we create a new document? There are two ways we can do this. Starting from the home screen, we can choose to click on New File, then we create a new document, or we can click on this InDesign icon. We go to File, Create, File, Create, then select New Document. At the top of the screen, you can see these different options: print, web, and mobile. If you're creating something for printing, for example, business cards, flyers, brochures, you choose print. If you're creating something for social media or presentation, you can choose web or mobile. So for this example, let's set up a standard. Let's do the document setup for a business card. We are going to use the standard units. So the standard, we are going to use inches. So let's change the width to 3.5. Remember, we are using the standard units. 3.5, the height to 2 inches. We need 2 pages, which is the front part of the business card and the back of the business card. So we are going to start from page 1. There is this option of facing pages. So let's check it. Columns, I guess we need like 5. The column gutter. Let's leave it as it is. The margins. Let me see. Let's leave the rest as there. So you can click on the preview mode to see what you're setting up. So we have our pages already set up, US business cards. We are using the standard units. So the next step is to click on create. Let me try to zoom out. So we have our pages set up, but the pages of our business cards are not next to each other. Page 1 is here and page 2 is here. They are not next to each other. So how do we fix this? So right click on the first page of your business card. Then we are going to uncheck allow document pages to shuffle. Let's uncheck it. Now let's grab the second page next to the and hook it to the first page. So the pages are next to each other, but they look like a spread. So how do we fix this? The bleed is shared between 2 pages, and I don't think this is going to work for us. So how do we fix this? We are going to use the page tool, which is the second tool on our toolbar, which I called the pick. You remember our phrase? Pick for tools, press for canvas, and perfect for other panels. So it's the second tool on our toolbar. So let's click on it. Let's drag it to separate the pages. It's not working. So what we're going to do, let's go to File. We need to turn off the facing pages first. Let's go to File, Document Setup. Then we turn off the facing pages. Then click OK. Let's drag it again using the page tool. So now we have the front and the back side of our business card. Let's start on the design process. So this is something we are going to create, or we are going to design. If you're opening a new file, go to File, Open. So I did this for our tutorial, and this is what we are going to design. This is the business card I designed specifically for this tutorial, and we are going to design it again from scratch. So let's get started. Let's start from the left side of the business card, which is the back side. So let's fill the back side of our business card with color. But remember, InDesign works differently from other programs. InDesign uses a frame-based system. What do I mean? The text lives in the text frame, images live in image frames, and shapes are placed in shape frames. So let's use the rectangle tool, then fill it with the color. We are drawing it from the corners of the blade. We don't need the stroke, we just need the fill. So there are different ways how we can change the color. You can double click on this. So I like to use this in most cases. Let's fill this with the color code, which is 6C29 2A. So this is the color we are going to use. Let's get to the preview mode. This is the preview mode. You press W on your keyboard, then get back by still pressing the W key. So this is the back side of the business card. Let's lock this background by pressing Ctrl L. Now let's just create a simple logo. Like I said, InDesign uses a frame-based system. So let's draw a rectangle again. Give it the fill color. For this, I'm going to use a different color code for cream, which is FCF 6DE. Let's align it. Go to alignment. There are different options: align to selection, align to margin, align to page, and to spread. So we are going to stick to align to margin. Then we center it. I think we should resize it. Now let's design a logo. I guess you still remember what I said, that InDesign uses a text frame system, a frame-based system. You don't just click and write. So let's draw like a shape. Then we'll write M, assuming my company starts with M. So I'm going to use a font called 7th Service. 7th Service. This is the font I'm going to use. Let's increase the font size like to 30. So how do we get rid of this text frame? We go to type, then choose create outline. So it's now a shape. It can be edited. Let's do the alignment. I'm going to use the same alignment. Let's resize it a bit. Then we use the eyedropper tool to give it a color. So we are done with the back side of the business card. This is the preview mode. This is how it looks. It's the same as this. So the name of our company is Momentum Brands, and this is the slogan, where brands accelerate. So let's write the text. Momentum Brands. So we are going to change the font to this Acumen variable. To this Acumen variable, bold. So we are just designing this business card manually. The right way to design it is by using what we call the paragraph styles. But since this is the first video, all we wanted is to fill the document setup we've used. So in this tutorial, we are not going to use paragraph styles. We are going to do it manually. Then we shall have the next tutorial where we shall do it in the right way. Momentum Brands. Let's change the size to 8. We change the color using the same method. Then let's duplicate a copy and we write a slogan. Like I said, this is not the right way we are supposed to do it. But I don't want to bring confusion since we are not yet at the stage of going through what we call the paragraph styles, character styles, and object styles. So let's write the slogan. What is our slogan? It's where brands accelerate. Where brands accelerate. So let's change this to something else, from bold to thin. Double click on this. We change this to 7. This to 8. Sorry, 8. So this is the back side of our business card. Now let's start on the front side. So let's use the same method. You draw a rectangle from the bleed. Give it a fill color. Then let's lock it. Let's group this first. Create a copy of this. Bring to font. So you're just playing around with the colors. Let's check the color code for this. Then for the slogan, So you're just filling this with the information. Just copying and doing some edits. Like I said, this is not the right way you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be using what we call the paragraph styles. But that's something we shall look at in the future. Are we still following up? Just filling this with the information. Orange building. Let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. So this is our business card. So what do we use InDesign for? We use InDesign for print projects like the one we just created, the business cards, posters, books, magazine. We use it for digital projects like the interactive PDFs, presentations, ebooks. We use it for reusable to design templates. And it is this versatility which makes InDesign an industry standard for professional design and publishing. Thanks for watching. We shall meet in the next video.